The best way we can describe the culture in this weight room is that everybody's as important as everybody. There's no status in this room. It doesn't matter if you're a walk-on or a fifth-year senior captain. Everybody in here is encouraged and pushed the exact same. They're all expected to lead. They're all expected to encourage each other, and everybody's required to do their best on a daily basis. The overall vision is exactly what Coach Diaz wants in this program, and that's to develop the total athlete in mind, body, and spirit. We want to make our athletes as confident as possible. We want them to be strong leaders. We want them to encourage each other on a daily basis. We want them to have tremendous resolve as to know that they can solve any problem. So they need to lift weights, they need to run fast, they need to be flexible, they need to be explosive. There's a whole lot that goes into that recipe. That's ultimately what we want to do here. Each season of training, you're looking at parts of the year, your winter, your spring football time, then your summertime, and then your in-season. So your winter, that's the time to make monsters. That's the time that we've got to pack on as much size on our players as humanly possible. And then we have competitive agilities in the morning, and those get hot and heavy.
The way that we look at it here is an opportunity to compete. And really, when you look at mat drills from the realm of strengthening your competitive ability more so than just doing a drill, I think that's when you really get a lot out of it. And just doing the things aren't enough. It's how you do them. And then that goes back to how you compete, how you touch the cone. How are you relating this to what you actually have to do, which is play football?
During spring football, our lifting volume is a lot lighter. We're looking for more strength and power exercises, and they get into summer strength and conditioning, and that is an absolute monster. That's the most amount of strength and conditioning training that they will get in the entire year. We are lifting hot and heavy throughout the entire duration of it, and we're building an incredible amount of trust throughout that entire training block. And then once camp and in season starts, we're going right back to spring mode where it's strength and power and not so much a whole lot of volume. What it means when the bell is rung is there's something that someone's going to try and challenge or fight.
It's really meant to get you into that mindset, get everybody watching you, everybody looking at you so you can feel that pressure, and then ultimately so you can practice performing in those environments so when the time comes, you're ready.
When that bell goes off, that means a max is going to happen, and the entire room is required to stop. They're clapping, they're cheering. It's one of the coolest environments ever. Once they hit a max, the lifter will end up crowd surfing at some point, and it's a giant celebration because everybody knows that as soon as that bell is rung, that person is going to get better for the program so that we have a better chance of being successful. And when they do achieve that goal, then it's a giant party. We want our athletes to have the most fantastic experience possible. And there's no perfect time to do that than when guys are maxing out and guys are excited. So we actually add a little twist to our max squat day. It's one of the most exciting days of the whole year for these guys when they're lifting weights. And we usually theme it up.
It's the culmination of all the work you've done. The max isn't just a representation of the number. It's really showing the previous 3 months or however long. That intensity and that energy is genuine. It comes from a very real place.
They've got to have fun with what they're doing, because if it's just a job every day and it's not fun, nobody's going to perform at their best. There's no better situation that you can be in than squatting a ton of weight, having a theme, having a DJ, having crazy lights going on and off, and then a million of your teammates around you hooting and hollering and inspiring you. My definition of sports science is using scientific tools that give you data on how your players are performing. And we use that on a daily basis, and we use it to know where our athletes are.
In reality, sports science is how we design our programs, and it's backed by sound research. It's been going on for decades. Technology, more than anything, validates programming that we put into place for our players.
When it comes to sports science, we use 4 tools on a daily basis. Number 1, we use a GPS tracking system to track how fast, how far, and how much work our guys are doing on the field or when conditioning on a daily basis.
There's a lot of really good feedback that we can provide for them individually, and then we can look at the global perspective too of position group, side of the ball, and the entire team.
We have a jumping apparatus that shows how explosive they are and how well they can land. And if the landing is off, then they either have a knee, ankle, or maybe possibly a hamstring problem. And they may not know they have an issue, but we can mitigate some injuries by finding out what their asymmetries are.
Our velocity-based training system, more than anything, we're able to see how ready our players are with the speed that we're moving, say a back squat with. Are we prepared to go in and produce high outputs for our upcoming opponent? That's certainly going to be something that we look at on a weekly basis all fall. And then lastly, our hamstring devices are really going to measure both how strong our hamstrings are as well as any imbalances that might pop up.
It helps me visualize and makes the results tangible, so you know what's going on with your body, and there's a number to go with that. It's your body, you got to be in tune with it. Nobody can feel what you're feeling. Kind of building a routine of what works for me, so that way when something is out of whack, I know what it is, I can get to it and fix it. And I think that's kind of the approach all the guys take.
When they know what kinds of things we're looking for, they almost make it competitive within themselves and then amongst their teammates. From a personal standpoint, they want to know that they're improving. There's not a guy in our program that does not want to get better, and we want to make sure that we provide that feedback so that they can help themselves in getting better. To cultivate trust with your players, they need to know how much you care about them before they can ever care about how much you know.
Throughout the year, we have what's called brunch bells on Saturday.
We instituted brunch bells to make sure that we created a family connection atmosphere. We fully believe that families are made through two ways: tough times and the food table.
It's a time where you can learn about a person, learn about their story, learn how we both at that moment got to where we are. And I believe that's really special. At the same time, guys are lifting weights. I'm lifting weights with them, get a nice arm farm in. It's a time where we can all come together and just learn from each other and grow with each other.
You just come and you get to hang out with the guys. I think it's a tradition. It's really important to just building the team culture and spending time with the guys, because it's a big team. You might not always get to see everybody. Brunch bells is a big part of kind of what brings us together.
The uniqueness of this culture really boils down to one thing, and it's the people that are in it every day.
You'll never see a group of guys more committed to each other's success. You kind of have that group synergy. I know that all my teammates are in there working hard, and I'd feel like I were cheating them if I weren't doing the same. You come in here, you self-abnegate. The group is greater than the individual goals.
They do it together, and it's one of the most special experiences I've ever had as a coach, and we just don't take that for granted around here. We quickly figured out the second we walked into this building that these guys, they love to compete. They thrive on that. They want to know what challenges are, and they want to know, how do I achieve the goal? They will do every and anything to make sure that there's a well-executed plan to win, and they want it. The most rewarding thing about this job is that you get to actually help people get to where they want to go. Life is so many learning lessons, and if you can help one person in your lifetime, then that was worth living. And we get to do that with 100-something guys every year. We get to help them achieve their goals. All their goals are different individually, but there's one unified goal, and that is to win and be successful and win a championship here at Duke. It is a true blessing to be here. It is a blessing to know these guys. They have been so impactful on my life, my family's lives, and it is something that is extremely special. And I know I'll never forget it, but it's going to be a while before this ride is over.